In an apparent sign of alliance and strength against North Korea's developing nuclear threat, a nuclear-powered U.S. aircraft carrier arrived in the port city of Busan on Friday for its first joint exercises with the South Korean Navy near the peninsula in 5 years. Prior to joint drills with South Korean forces, the USS Ronald Reagan and ships from its accompanying strike group berthed at a naval facility in the southern port city of Busan. Its landing signifies the largest deployment to date as part of a renewed effort to have more American strategic assets operate in the region to dissuade North Korea. Rear Admiral Michael Donnelly, the commander of the strike group, told reporters on board the ship that the goal of the visit was to strengthen ties between the navies and increase interoperability. When asked about sending any messages to North Korea, he responded, "We are leaving communications to diplomats," but adding that combined exercises would make sure the allies were prepared to counter any threats. "We can practice our tactics and operations," according to Donnelly. In an effort to send a message to North Korea, which this year conducted a record number of missile tests and appears to be preparing to resume nuclear testing for the first time since 2017, South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol has pushed for more joint exercises and other military power displays. Previous U.S. military deployments and joint exercises have been blasted by North Korea as preparations for war and evidence of hostile actions by Washington and Seoul. Peace activists have also protested the drills, claiming that they exacerbate regional tensions. The carrier's visit, according to the U.S. last week, was a clear show of the country's will to deploy and use strategic assets to fend off Pyongyang and strengthen regional security. The U.S. Navy did not mention North Korea in its announcement of the tour, referring merely to it as a regularly scheduled port call, and emphasizing that crew members were going to Busan to volunteer at orphanages and learn more about the K-pop music scene. Mason Ritchie, a professor at Seoul's Hankook University of Foreign Studies, said that while the carrier visit is beneficial for political signaling, comforting Seoul, and training with South Korean military, it probably offers little to further discourage North Korea. A carrier group visit doesn't accomplish much, and it probably does the reverse, to deter Pyongyang from developing more nuclear weapons and delivery systems, as well as conventional capabilities, he said. However, it shows that under Yoon, the Allies believe that closer military cooperation and interoperability is the most effective strategy for dealing with North Korea, Ritchie continued. Concerns have been raised about the potential contribution of the roughly 28,500 American troops stationed in South Korea in the event of a conflict involving Taiwan. The U.S. Navy's attempts to uphold the regional security and stability that has existed for more than 7 decades, according to Donnelly, depend heavily on cooperating with friends who share the same values as it does. He claimed that such decisions should be made by higher-up politicians. This year, North Korea has tested more than 30 weapons, including intercontinental ballistic missiles, and has made substantial progress in its relations with China and Russia, two of its most important allies who also harbor animosity against the United States. Despite the North Korean weaponry allegedly capable of hitting significant cities on the U.S. mainland, several academics in South Korea, like Park Yong-soo, a professor of international politics at Korea Maritime and Ocean University, have questioned whether the nuclear umbrella is still dependable. When U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris arrives in Seoul on September 29 after attending the former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's state funeral in Tokyo, the nuclear danger posed by North Korea is also anticipated to be a top agenda item. The carrier would be in port for many days, according to officials, who declined to disclose more information on the impending joint drills. Shortly after the ship anchored, numerous crew members lined up to take COVID-19 tests before being transported by bus into the city. Hope you guys love the video. Don't forget to hit the like button and please do subscribe the channel and press the bell icon to all. so you can get the notification on each upload.